What's happening, y'all? It's your boy Q Monster here, back at it once again. Oh man, yeah, we just got back from watching the movie Smile.
Don't do that. Now I'm freaked out with all the smiles. She's like,
Doing all that. Oh man, like I said, I was getting like a lot of Joker vibes when I first seen the movie and everything. I was just like, man, all this smiling. Just put a smile on your face. But yeah, we just got back watching that, so this is gonna be a spoiler review. So yeah, we definitely gonna be deep diving, talking about it. So if you have not seen it, don't bother watching it. If you have seen it, then hey, stick around. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot to talk about here. So where we gonna start?
the opening scene.
The opening scene.
The opening scene is, so it starts off with this lady. She's like a therapist, but she's a doctor. And she's basically seeing this patient who's like having all these complaints about, I guess, like having hallucinations and stuff. And so they're like in an inpatient facility. And she's in the room with the patient and she's trying to like talk to her and let her know she's okay and everything. And then you just see the patient like commit suicide in front of her. She does like the creepy smile. And then something like almost like takes over her because she's kind of like, she falls to the ground and like her body kind of like goes up and something's like going on with her. But eventually she takes, because there was like a flower pot that like falls on the, like a flower vase, it like falls on the ground. And then she basically just takes a piece of that vase that shattered, and she literally just starts cutting her face open. Like she starts here and she just goes down to her neck and she just and there's so much blood.
Yeah, that was crazy because I was, like I said, and the reason why I said I was getting like Joker vibes, when it showed that part, I thought she was going like, slit her, across her lip and everything, trying to make a smile like that.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
That's what I was kind of thinking, like, from the Joker movie. Not the Joker movie, but that's from The Dark Knight. If you know what I'm talking about, I've seen Dark Knight from Batman. But that's what I kind of thought at first, but no, she just kind of just cut around her neck, and I was just like, oh my gosh, that was just so much blood coming out.
And the whole time she's cutting, she's smiling.
Yeah, just stay smiling.
It's so creepy.
I was like, come on, man. Like, this movie was something else, man.
So
like
that initial scene was gruesome.
Yeah.
Then she goes down the hallway and she like, this was on the trailer, but there's like the other guy who's just like smiling as well. Mm-hmm. And he's like basically saying, you're gonna die, you're going to die, you're going to die. Yep. And then she gets all freaked out with him too. Mm-hmm. This movie did go fast though, and the scenes, they kept flipping and flipping and flipping. We didn't know what was real, what she was imagining at times, and then what she wasn't. So what was the next scene?
The next scene, trying to
process
like,
it. It was a lot.
It's like it leaves me, then I'm like,
because remember, like after the lady dies, she goes back to her house.
Yeah.
And she's having like almost like secondhand trauma, I guess, from like experiencing the lady committing suicide. So she ends up seeing something and drops her glass, and then her boyfriend comes in. So she's like freaking out and having like her own episodes.
Yeah.
So we're thinking it's just secondhand trauma. Then we find out that she's like basically caught this, what was it, like a curse or a spirit or something?
Yeah, a spirit and everything. Yeah. I mean, that's how it always ends, because that's what I meant to say. To talk about, I forgot all about that scene when she in the dark and when she was in the house and everything, it was dark and everything, and all of a sudden you see across from her, she's seeing that same chick just smiling like.
Yeah.
Just, I'm like, really? And then out of nowhere, plus, her fiance came through and everything, which I was kind of surprised they brought my boy A-Train. I was like, what?
He looks so different. Yeah, he looks so different on this movie than he does in The Boys. But
man, I was kind of like surprised to see him in that though, and I was just like, oh, so he's the fiance or something like that. At first, I was thinking that she was gonna be alone.
Yeah, I did too.
That's what I kind of thought.
I was not expecting her to have a boyfriend.
Man, because if she was like alone all the time, just a witness and all that, that would just drive her crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Did her cat go missing on that first scene or the second scene? Because remember, she breaks 2 glasses.
Yeah, she broke 2 glasses.
The cat goes missing on the second scene when the alarm goes off. Yeah. So there's like a second scene where basically she's at home by herself again. She had another situation happen at the inpatient hospital, so she's like just having a lot of problems. And I think they tell her to just take a week off just for like self-care. And then she's at home, and this time the alarm, like her alarm just goes off, and I guess there was something like in the back door that set the alarm off. But during that time, that's whenever she really starts to like hear voices and stuff, because remember she gets a phone call from the alarm company, and like if anybody who has an alarm system knows, like the company will call you before they call the police. So when the alarm company calls her just to say like, hey, is everything okay, or like check on her, that like it starts off like the alarm company, and then they're like, what was the girl's name? I already forgot her name, but they say her name, and they're like Rose. They're like, yeah, Rose, are you sure? Are you sure nobody's in the house? Look behind you. And I was like, oh, hell no. Like,
I was like, you start talking like that, I'm like,
you're talking like you're just part of the alarm system, lady, and then you like start. It was just creepy, and then her other phone starts ringing. Yeah. So
I mean, it starts saying the same thing and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden everything just went blank. Went to a different scene and stuff like that. I was just like, come on, man. They really had to do that.
And that's when her cat goes missing. And then the boyfriend comes home again, and he's like, you broke another glass?
Yeah, you broke another glass?
He's kind of looking like, do I know what I got into with this girl?
Man,
so
oh, man.
It's crazy.
And what else? Like I said, it was so much going on.
Because, like, she looks very professional, very good looking in the beginning of the movie. She's very well put together, working in this professional role. And then throughout the movie and then at the end of the movie, she's just looking bad. Like, she's having all kinds of injuries on her and dark bags under her eyes because she's not sleeping, and she's dressing completely different. Like, she just looks like a whole different person. Mm-hmm. As the movie starts to go, you just see her appearance start to decline a lot. So
because like her boss told her, it's like, hey, just take a week off. You know what I'm saying? You dealing with too much. Because she like I said, she just been seeing a whole lot of crazy stuff. I mean, people were just committing suicide because they see this entity that's appearing in front of them. And then they just die with a smile. And I'm just like, that's just insane. It's crazy.
So what we end up finding out is that as soon as like this curse or this spirit gets into somebody, so she basically caught it whenever the lady commits suicide in front of her, and then the pattern just keeps on going. So the only way that you can get rid of this curse or this spirit is that you have to either commit suicide yourself or you have to kill somebody else.
Yeah.
So she's trying the whole time. She's like dealing with her ex-boyfriend who's a cop, who's like giving her all these details about all these other like 19 or 20 people who have been affected and are part of this pattern. She goes to talk to this other like Hispanic lady who her husband had died based on the same reasons. So she's like doing all this investigative type of work, but everybody in her personal life just thinks she's crazy. Like her boyfriend like calls her therapist and is trying to get her help. Her sister's like, you can't come around me or my kid anymore. Everybody just thinks she's crazy. You want to talk about the birthday party? Her nephew's birthday party?
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that on that birthday scene. Oh man, that was just crazy. Because I mean, they was all celebrating his birthday and all that stuff, and then here she come Rose. She brought her own gift, as she was entering the house and all that stuff. So they start having a little gathering around and all that stuff, and then they want her little nephew to start just open up the present. Since she started opening up one, he started opening up one. Then I guess the next one was Rose's gift, and then once he started opening up in that, and once he unwrapped everything, and it was just like the little box or something like that. I forgot the name of the box was.
Yeah. Oh, it was like a train. Remember, she had went to that train store, I think. So she thought it had, she thought it was like a train set or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah. And then as soon as he opened it, and he was just like he changed his look. He was like, and then all of a sudden, all people was like, okay, what was it? What is it? What is it?
Everyone wants to look.
Yeah, and he just pulled it out, and all of a sudden it was that dead cat.
Her mustache. Cat, yeah, mustache.
I was like, what? And they all start freaking out, you know what I'm saying? This eye contact and everything. And all of a sudden, it showed this one lady sitting in a rocking chair and she just smiling at her and everything.
And nobody can see it but her.
Nobody can see it but her.
And I think it's actually herself, if I'm not mistaken, who's on the rocking chair. So she's like, don't you guys see that? And they're like, this girl's crazy. Like, and she freaks all the kids out, all the guests out. And that's basically what we were talking about before. Her cat goes missing, and then we don't know exactly if she killed the cat and did that or who did that, but
we don't know.
The cat was in there and it was sick, and that's whenever her sister's like, yeah, you can't come around me or my family right now. So
yeah, she fell, and then plus, you know, she was all freaking out and everything because she was holding the cat, and all of a sudden she just fell backwards, you know, because she was going insane.
When she falls into the
the glass table and
she
everything.
was going insane because she falls backwards. She like falls through this coffee table. She has cuts all over her arms, and then that's whenever she goes she has to go to the ER, and then her boss sees her there and is like, what is happening?
Yeah.
But this movie is a lot though, because the scenes just keep flipping and flipping, and it moves fast, and it's a lot. But what are some other good scenes? Oh yeah,
this is what me and my little brother was just talking about too, because he was laughing about the part when I guess when Rose went to go see her sister and everything, because she was trying to, like, you know, trying to talk to her and everything and trying to apologize, you know, trying to just, you know, trying to make up things that would happen, you know, with the party and all that stuff. And she, her sister was like, you know, didn't want to be around her and everything because she kind of reminded her like her mother. Cause I guess that's what it all falls back, you know what I'm saying? Because their mother, you know, committed suicide and everything. And then because she was going all crazy and all that stuff back when they was kids. And she was always saying that, you know, I think she's like the older sister, I think. I don't know.
I think Rose was the younger sister, and then I forgot, was it Molly or Holly or something? She was
I think she's
older sister, because remember she said, I'm sorry I left you there, but I had to get out of there for my own sanity. Yeah. So the mom must have had like real severe mental health. But what was the part you and your brother were talking about?
Oh yeah, and then so after that confrontation, you know what I'm saying, when they started getting into it, I guess the sister went back in the house, and then she went back to her car, and then as she was sitting in her car, out of nowhere, her sister came out of the house, break back out of the house, walk up to her car, and then that's when it shows that famous scene on the trailer, you know, when she knocked on the window, and then all of a sudden her sister Rose looked, and then all of a sudden she twisted her head like this, upside down, smiling, and then boom, it didn't really happen, but she just kind of saw it in her head.
Yeah. And she sees her sister like come out of the house and do it, and
and then the nephew was sitting there looking like I don't want to be around this chick.
Another good part was the therapist part. So she ends up having even though she's a doctor and a therapist herself, now, like, because she's going through all this stuff, she's now seeing a therapist. And the boyfriend, I guess, I don't know if this was that scene or not, but somehow the boyfriend ends up like telling the therapist how bad Rose is doing and that he needs to start making like home visits. So he comes to the house, or she comes to the house one day. She comes in, she lets her in, she sits on the couch, and God, this part was creepy. She sits on the couch and they're like talking about everything that she's been going through. And again, Rose is like not happy that she's there because she's just over all of the therapy stuff. She knows that this is not like her having a mental health issue. Something else is going on. And so the therapist is just talking to her, and then eventually so the therapist is there in her house sitting on her couch, and they're like talking, and then she gets a phone call from her therapist, like a live phone call, and her therapist is like, hey, I'm really sorry for how things like went down the other day and all that. She's like, but I wanted to call and check on you because we're worried about you. But her therapist is on the phone, but then the therapist is there too. Yeah. So then that's whenever the therapist starts doing the creepy smile. Yeah, they do the creepy smile. and then she realizes that I guess that's the part of the curse, and this person is just there to hurt her, and then she just starts like going after her, and it's all like in her mind though. It's all in her mind. Yeah. So. And so that part is super creepy. Yeah. So there's tons of parts like that.
Like I said, I mean, and like I said, if you can, you know, hold up to all these jump scares, because like I said, it was just nonstop with jump scares, you know, everywhere you go. I mean, everywhere you kept on seeing this movie, because it was just insane, man.
Like the laptop part.
Yeah, the laptop part. Like, oh. you know, out of nowhere, she just screamed out and everything. Yeah. She jumped up. Yeah. I was just like, damn.
Yeah, somebody just like, ah.
Like, man, like,
So there's a lot of suspense, a lot
no,
of
yeah,
the jump scares, and then like I would say in this movie, it's good because you never know kind of like what's gonna happen next, and then also like it's not one of those like scary movies where like you're like yelling at the screen like stop doing that, why would you do that, why like there's like none of that, honestly.
nah,
Yeah, she's really just trying to figure this thing out on her
yeah,
own.
that's all she was doing. You know, just trying to solve it out, trying to see what's going on. Like, you know, because she been traveling everywhere trying to find, you know, find out all these, you know, these suicidal deaths that's been going on lately. And yeah, she been trying to find answers and all that stuff, and then people just don't really believe her. You know what I'm saying? They just really trying to think that she's really crazy.
Yeah.
You know, she's just seeing her head. But like I said, you witnessed all the victims that went through this trauma and everything. You know, they've been seeing the same thing, the same entity that's been messing with them,
Right.
and they just been like, you know, killing themselves. So, I mean, it's mind boggling. You know what I'm saying? Just watching all that stuff happening and hearing all that stuff that's been going on. That's just insane.
So you want to talk about the ending?
Yeah,
Because it's hard to talk about this movie because there's a lot of parts, but we covered a lot of it.
yeah,
The end is basically like so there's this house that I guess it's the house that she grew up in with her mom, her childhood home. And she basically, I guess, feels like, I guess at this point she's connected that this has something to do with her mom's death and that maybe it's been following her this whole time. I don't know. So she goes back to the house, her childhood home. It's abandoned. It's broken down. It almost looked like it had caught fire or something. But she goes in there and she's basically like trying to, I guess, like go back into her past and then kill the spirit or the curse.
yeah. She's trying to get rid of the curse and everything. Yeah. Because, you know, she wanted to be alone and everything. Don't want nobody to be involved. You know what I'm saying? It's that way she can't really do anything crazy with the person and everything that's around her. So she wanted to go ahead and face it up alone and try to figure this out, see if she can get rid of it. But it turns out, I mean, it didn't really, I mean, because like she saw her mom, a vision, I mean, she saw it, well, she was hallucinating, seeing her mom and everything in that house because, you know, her mom, you know, passed away when she committed suicide and everything. So, and she started having conversation with her mom and everything, you know, talking about she was scared of her and everything, you know, because she wasn't a good mom or whatever and all that stuff. And then all that, and when all that stuff happened, and she was, you know, her Rosie was saying, "Yeah, you're not real." You know what I'm saying? This is not, it just can't be happening. Like, no, this can't be. And the mom started just looking all creepy and stuff, and then started doing a smile.
Yeah.
And then like I guess she was trying to escape from her, trying to shut the door, and all of a sudden you see her hand just grab the door, creepy and everything, and open it slowly, and all of a sudden she just turned all freaking huge and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, we getting like some barbarian vibes.
That's exactly what I said.
Like looking, I mean, this woman looking all tall and shit.
She like
7
started
feet.
stretching.
Yeah, I was just like, what kind of mess is this, bro? And then yeah, and then she was really trying to like, you know, trying to get her, like trying to get her to believe, you know, and trying to believe in our mind, and Rosie trying to like, you know, avoid all that stuff. So she's trying to get out of it. So she just kind of like, you know, she latched on. She put out she tried to light up the house and everything. You know, trying to. Know what I'm trying to say.
Light her on fire.
Yeah, light her on fire and everything.
She put gas like all over her and lit her on fire.
And then, but like I said, it was like an antidote, so you know, you really couldn't really kill it.
Yeah.
I mean, we thought that was the end, though.
In that part, we thought that because again, it keeps flipping a lot, so we're thinking that it's over because she catches the mom or whatever that thing turned into on fire, and then she basically like leaves that abandoned home that she was in, her childhood home. And then she ends up at her ex-boyfriend's house, who's the cop, who she was getting all this information about when it came to all these different cases with the suicides and stuff. And so we're thinking, because he kind of knew what was going on, and he kind of believed her because he was the one who was able to go back and see all these similar cases. So he was probably the only person who didn't think she was crazy. But what happened is she goes back to his place, because we don't know what happened to her fiance. But she goes back to his place, and then when they're she's like explaining to him like, all this stuff about like their past relationship. Like I put all these walls up, and she's like trying to like almost mend the relationship, it seemed like. And she was like, I just want to go to sleep, and I was wondering if I could sleep here and if you could stay with me, because I guess she's just like scared and overwhelmed at this point. So we're thinking it's over and that they're gonna like she's gotten rid of this like curse or spirit. But then another creepy part, he ends up, I guess because he had made contact with her or something, he ends up being cursed now too. So he's like, yeah, he's like, yeah, you can stay with me forever. And then he does, and then he's like, does the smile, and it's like, oh my God, like it was so creepy.
Here we go.
And then so we're thinking it's over, and then she somehow goes outside of his home, and then she goes outside of his house, but then she's never really left her childhood home.
She never left her childhood home, because like that's what kind of got me. I was just like, I mean, as soon as that happened, when the ex-boyfriend chased her out of the house, she went outside the door, and all of a sudden
she's just going outside of her childhood home door. So we're like, what?
So it drove her back in that thing, and then all of a sudden, the ex-boyfriend called her out, because I guess he was already still coming down and trying to save her out at home. So it was never over. So she'd been there this whole entire time. Yeah. And that's where she left out, and all of a sudden it wasn't over. So she saw him, and she kind of went crazy again.
Yeah, because she doesn't know what's happening, because she just thought she was at his house, and now he's at the childhood home, and at this point she's just like gone crazy.
Yeah, she's crazy.
Like trying to be mentally strong, but like there's just so much back and forth. She doesn't know what's real. We don't even know as the audience what's real and what's not real. But then we definitely think there will be a Smile part 2 because of how it ends.
Yeah, because but the ex-boyfriend witnessed Rose dying because she burned herself. Because that damn entity, man. I'm just like, what kind of mess? Like she just pulled out, like skinned herself and everything. And I was just like, what in the world? And then all of a sudden she got Rose, and she grabbed her, and she grabbed her face, and she started opening up her mouth, which is the most grossest part ever. I'm like, why would you show this to me and everything? I'm like, I don't want to see that. And then all of a sudden this damn thing started trying to get inside of her and everything. Because that's how they be getting into
Because earlier in the movie we had seen one of the victims that died, and that's how his face looked. Like his jaw, like his whole mouth was just open, and I was wondering why it was like that. But then at the end I realized it's because that's how like they do it. Yeah. So it was so creepy. But yeah, at the end we definitely realized that there has to be a part 2 because of how it ends. So yeah, it was good, and I will watch part 2.
Yep. And stay tuned for that. I mean, it's the number 1 movie now, so.
So what did you rate this movie as?
I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Yeah. 9 out of 10. It was good. It's worth watching. Hey, I'll watch it again if I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah,
this is a movie crazy. You could watch again because so much stuff happened. I'll give it a 9 or even a 9.5 out of 10. Yeah. There's really nothing I didn't like about it. Just maybe that the scenes flip very fast. You don't know what's real and what's not, but it was still very, very good.
Yeah,
so. That's our review.
That's the end of it. So, yeah, it's pretty long review. So, I hope y'all be able to watch it through. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I try my best to go ahead and make it shorter. But, yeah, we got to talk. I mean, hey, we got to talk. You know what I'm saying? We got to throw it all out there so we won't miss out on anything. I'm pretty sure we missed out on anything, but.
We missed out on stuff because it flipped so much. So we did the best we could. So.
Yeah. But anyways, post your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think, man. I mean, did you enjoy this movie? Did not enjoy it? Let me know what's up. And let me know if you seen anybody that used to be smiling at you and everything, looking all creepy and shit.
No.
You better run away as far as you can.
My nephew Aaron kept smiling after the movie. Like, I was like, both of our families were like being weird after the movie.
Being weird. It's like, you can't even smile.
I'm like, yeah, now it's like creepy. He just kept smiling. I was like, stop doing that.
But yeah. Anyway, if you enjoy our review, make sure you hit that like button, smash that like button, and always subscribe it and share it. And I'm going to catch you guys later. Deuces.
Bye.